We need Brian.
Don Juan, you're really smart, bro. Why are you never in my chat?
He's not.
Well, he's not super smart,
trolling.
but he knows shit. He knows a
If he's
lot.
talking about Roosh or whatever, like he turned Christian, but he kept his archive up. I don't know if he's the one that came up with Game. I would say it was, or I'm sorry, I don't know if he came up with Dread. I would say Dread has been around. Somebody just started to call it something. It's your girlfriend's being nuts, and so you stop talking to her.
Yeah, you ignore her.
I don't know if, like, I'd be surprised to know that somebody called it that. Maybe they named it Dread, but Dread was always just like,
don't care. Like that's what I was telling you. Yeah, well, for me, like I never called it Dread. I just said I just act like I don't care anymore. Like you just gotta kind of act like you don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
but and then people come back to you.
Dread saves relationships and
saves
girls.
Marriages.
When girls hear about Dread and they're like, "So he's manipulating me." That's how they see it. I'm like, they're manipulating you, so you get on their program, so they don't dump you because most guys won't put up with you. Red pill guys will. They're willing to put in the work to create a woman that's like feminine and stuff. And it's like, well, what's this guy trying to do? Trying to change me. What are you trying to diagnose your boyfriend with? Like, whatever the fuck. You know how we do that.
Yeah.
So it's like fair game.
It literally is fair at that point. It's just the world is so fucking feminine that like they always have the right, like they always are the leader in a lot of relationships. So that's why it just ends up that way. I feel like
just give a man a role. Just give him a task. Remember earlier, I was like, you guys were looking for the remote or something.
Yeah.
I said to him, I was like, they're going to find it. I know they will. They'll figure it out. And you just see them, they're like getting it or whatever. And you found it. I'm like, if you just give man the trust, I know it's scary because we have that fear component with our sexual strategy and it makes men scary. But honestly, I know a lot of men, seen them over the years. You give them the wrench, aka like modding them or whatever. They do a lot of good with it.
Yeah,
even the bad trolls that would be in my chat that would call me horrible names, I would mod them right away, and they stopped. And then anybody that came in that was roasting me, they kicked out. Yeah. And I was like, you just gotta give it to them.
Yeah. I don't know. So another thing that I've started over the last couple months, talking to more of these girls. I'm just talking more and more and more with them, and even like personal with some of them and stuff, like off the show. I'm finding that it's not even like them sometimes. Like I'm finding that it's literally always the guys. I will even read their messages. Like I will see what these guys are saying to them, like what they're doing to them and stuff. And it's just like, girls, I just can't express that. Like these guys are lying more than ever. They're not shit. Like I feel bad for these girls, and like they constantly have to go towards the top because it's like 90% of men are just so fucking shitty. And it's just like, are they right? Like, is that true? Is it really that 80-90% of men are so fucking trash today that they're having to go up to that?
No.
Like,
but doesn't it make you think back to like, you're saying that men are lying to them. Do women know that the men are lying?
Yeah, I tell them all the time. Y'all see these red flags and you don't do anything.
I told you earlier, nobody has an incentive to be honest with women. If somebody, it's kind of like, how do you explain God exists, let's say, to a bunch of atheists? That's a bad example. How do you, that's a horrible example. Sorry. Okay. How do you explain, have you ever dealt with somebody who had like a psychotic disorder?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like really psychotic?
No, not really.
Okay. How do you tell me that my hair is red if I can't see?
If you don't, yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
You can't.
You're like, you can tell me all the time, like I'm telling you the truth, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody's honest. Hopefully they have a dad. Dad will be brutally honest. But are you going to show him your sex or like text with the guy? No.
Yeah, see, but I feel so bad for, like, I don't know. The more I hang out around these girls, though, I understand why they're choosing so hard. Like, I understand, like, yeah, and they're like, I feel like, I don't know. I'm getting to a point where I just feel very bad for women today.
That's
where, like,
what
it's not even that.
That's what the red pill is. If you follow red pill and you don't feel empathetic for women, you don't follow red pill. Every red pill man I know feels incredibly empathetic. It's horrible.
It's the hardest. They're in a way harder position and I used to not think this. I used to think that, because I would always say this on the show. I have a daughter, and
Yeah.
I'm very secure in having a daughter because I know that if I raise her correctly, I think that she'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I'm scared of having a son because I'm scared if he's too short, if he's too much this or that, then he's gonna become an incel. Like he could become some black pill doomer or something.
We're
And I'm
not we're
so
not nice
scared
to
of
them.
yes, and I'm so scared of suicide rates. Like I'm so scared of having a son. Like it's literally like the biggest fear of my life.
I got prescriptions. I shouldn't talk about parenting, but if I ever had a kid, I said this on my channel and it was a boy, I would put him in combat sports. That and so far I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from men in the space.
Like karate and stuff like that.
Karate, like
Any type of that type of
what
stuff.
what's the other one? The hard the one that does
Jujitsu.
is that the one with all of them?
No, the one with all
MMA.
MMA is just all
MMA.
of them.
That's
Yeah,
what I would put them in. And literally all these guys are like, yeah, builds inner confidence. You can be short, but you'll be fit
yeah.
once you're like in your prime, like there's not, it teaches discipline, it teaches self-reliance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to rely on yourself. This isn't a sport that involves other people, other than, well, some of them. Do they? No, I can't think of one that does.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's like to just go back to that. Like I can't help but feel it's just extremely bad. But like now it's like I know I'll be able to teach my daughter everything, but it's just like how do I know that she'll be able to find actual good guy whenever I look around and there's so many shit guys everywhere. Like
Literally.
even when I look into red pill,
Yeah.
like even when I look in the red pill sphere, I look in my Discord, when I look just everywhere, there's lacking something somewhere, whether it's social skills, fucking looks, money. Like I feel bad because there's so many guys that are broke or just stupid or just no social skills or they're like basically I really think it's the guys under 25 is horrible. If you're an under 25 girl or man, you were raised by iPads almost. Like or almost raised by the internet
Well,
because
yeah, and and puberty hits them a lot later. So, like, remember, women have to go through what it's like 10 years almost of puberty. It
I
feels
didn't
like
know
that.
that. That's
Maybe
crazy.
it's 4.
I didn't know that.
I
That's
would
crazy.
I was really emotionally unstable though from depression, so it could have been that with birth control, but like men, I don't know. Men have something in them and I see it in young boys. And it's like the the will to do stuff. Like, have you ever seen a little girl fall off a bike and like she
She
kind
cries and runs away and doesn't want to do it anymore.
yeah, or she doesn't cry, but she does something else. It's like a boy falls off and he keeps getting back on it.
Let me try
He
again.
he literally, and that's innate. Nobody taught him that. He's like 3.
Yeah.
It's wild watching kids.
Or like how like little girls like to play with dolls and stuff like that. There's definitely that's the
Boys like action figures.
so what do you think when it comes to nature versus nurture? Do you think it's 50-50? Do you think that like our genetics is going to rule about half of our life and our environment will rule about half of it, you think? Or like it's a
I
perfect
would
mix?
say I come from where genes are strong. Okay. So, like, I would say 80. 80 genes, 20
Environment.
environment, because I grew up in a two-parent household, relatively toxic, loud. But because I went to public school, I talk about this. People want to hate on public school. I was able to see adults normal, like polite. And so having that dichotomy when my mom would have mental breaks and stuff, and then seeing my dad always be calm and always being the one to be like, your mom's nuts. Okay, just relax. Like,
Hmm.
don't cry. Seeing that and having school, I was able to see something was off with my mom. But my dad, like the best advice for dads, like my dad just showing up. He was always there at 4:30 p.m. and something about that, it's like he didn't treat me like a princess, but if I needed him in a dire situation, one time I was drunk in a tree and I was like 19. He was like, call me. Or I was 18. I think I was still in high school. He's like, call me. And I remember I was in a tree. He came and got me, never got mad. He's like, call me. I will never get mad. If for some reason your dumbass starts to drink and drive, call me. Do not blow. I will come and get you at the police station. I'll never get mad. And he always stuck to that. I never had to go to the police station, never did that. But because he never got mad and I could call him, I was never scared. So, yeah, your daughter's going to make mistakes, but if she can't call you, she's going to call a boyfriend.
See, this is what scares me the most is like so like my parents were perfect in that aspect, especially my mom. Like probably not perfect. Like my sister was having parties like when she was 14, 15 years old. Like my mom would buy the alcohol. Like
That's okay.
everybody was at our house. But I mean, it was all
She was
very.
that
It
mom.
was
I
all.
love it.
Yeah, she was that mom. But everybody was staying the night there. Like
She would
all
keep
my
the
friends.
keys.
All my friends would come stay the night at my house when we were 12, 13, and we would go TP everybody. Like my house
Alex's
was the
house.
house
I
where like
remember.
like I wouldn't sneak out. I'd just go to my mom's room and say, "Hey, we're about to go now at 3 in the morning." I'd be like, "Hey, we're about to go TP everybody." She'd be like, "Okay, bye, have fun."
I
And
can.
like we would just go out the back door and just go do it.
I love
So
that for
and like
you.
I would love to be that, but like today with how scary it is with the internet, it's just
Yeah.
like how do you not be a helicopter parent? Like that's what scares me the most is like I don't want my kid to be raised by the internet or by iPads.
See, that's
It's hard.